Reading 21 from the Psychological Commentaries on the Teachings of Gurdjieff and Ouspensky by Dr. Maurice Nicoll, Volume 1. Birdlip, September 21st, 1941. Commentary on Meaning. Part 2. The whole of the work, all the ideas connected with the work, all that it says about man being asleep, about the possibility of man's awakening, about life, about mechanicalness, about man's inner state, about efforts on oneself, about consciousness, about being, about new ways of thinking, new ways of understanding, new ways of taking things. All this can become the greatest source of meaning a man can possess. The meanings that the work, that is, the meanings that esotericism and its unchanging concepts about man and his possible inner rebirth can give a man, belong to an order of ideas that can transform all the meanings that life gives us. If a man begins to take life as work, then his whole relationship to existence begins to change, because the meaning of life changes for him. He sees life in another light, not as an end, but as a means, and this enables him not to identify with life and its happenings as he formerly did. He does not necessarily expect that life is going to take him anywhere, but knows that if he takes life in the light of the work, it becomes his teacher. That is, the work gradually shows him how to take what happens in life, so that he learns from life and all that happens in life, and in this way life becomes his teacher. Whatever happens, he has the work to hold on to, and he knows that the explanation it gives him of the real meaning of his own life cannot be destroyed by anything in life itself. But if he takes life as an end, the case will be different. Then he will never understand the work and never have any new meanings. From the work viewpoint, then, life is a means, and all the work teaches about self-evolution is the real end. This, however, is not easily understood, nor are we to suppose that it is easy to take life as work. When an unpleasant situation arises in life, one does not easily take it from a work viewpoint, especially if it touches the meanings of ourselves through which we feel our self-satisfaction, and which we derive from imagination and false personality, and abide in as easily as if they were really ourselves. No one, of course, understands the work. We know a little about it, but few have applied it to their being. That is, the work is not third force for us. Life is. Only in a vague way, and at times and by means of another's help, is the work third force for anyone. That is, a neutralizing force stronger than the neutralizing force of life and the forms of imagination derived from life. It is very difficult to change, and no change is possible as long as life and imagination are the source of meaning for you. To think in a new way is the starting point of inner development. And this, as you all know, is exactly what the Gospels say. The Gospels are also esoteric teaching, that is, teaching about man's possible inner evolution. The Gospels say, unless a man thinks in a new way, he cannot gain the kingdom of heaven. This is unfortunately translated, unless a man repent. To think in a new way is to find new meanings, and to be given new ideas is to have new thoughts. But people do not quite see what is meant. They hear this work and still think as before. So they believe that many of the ideas of this work are odd or fantastic. But it is they who are so. None of the ideas of this system is odd or fantastic. How long it takes us, and how many hard and horrible experiences we need before we catch glimpses of the fact that the work and the Gospels and all esotericism are not saying anything odd or fantastic, but are actually saying something real and absolutely necessary to us. Once we begin to be aware of this, in individual experience, New meaning enters us, and at once our relationship to life alters a little. Old meanings lose a little of their force. Psychologically, we live in a world of different meanings, and new meanings enter us only when old meanings die. Do you see that one cannot serve all one's old meanings and expect to have new meanings? But all this is very difficult to understand. You all have your meanings, the meanings that you follow. Perhaps you even believe that your meanings are the only ones and are absolutely right. Or perhaps you believe that there are fixed meanings for everything. In fact, standardized meanings. Of course, this is not the case. The meaning of every single thing can change. Think of some general changes in meaning since this war began. A thing can lose all meaning for you. Then it is meaningless, and then you will have no relationship to it. You are related to a person through his or her meaning for you. If this meaning changes, your relationship changes. Meaning relates us to a thing or a person, and if all meaning fades, there is no relationship. But it will depend on the source of your meaning. Life divides people. The work unites people. If a man takes life as work, everything can come to have new meaning. As a result of new meaning, new parts of centers are touched, and new connections made internally, and new interpretations are possible. That is, the man becomes a little more free, not so mechanical. But since the source of these new meanings reaches him through the ideas of the work, this change depends on how much he feels the ideas, how much he evaluates the work. Therefore, you must think of the meaning of the work and what evaluation of the work means in order to understand better this third, inexhaustible source of meaning, whose origin lies beyond mechanical life, in the conscious circle of humanity.